If it's two things Disney is known for, is its food and making their guests feel like they're flying above the clouds. And that's exactly what we're covering today. Well, not exactly. Before we could soar, we first had to take a pit stop to the kitchen. It was quite a journey from singing produce to hang gliding across the world. Welcome back to another Disney Versus. In this video, we're essentially looking at four different attractions, the first of which being Kitchen Cabaret. Opening day Epcot was a mixed bag of having some of the best rides ever made, and others just left people scratching their heads. Not to say it was bad, but watching a musical animatronic stage show in a kitchen was a bit odd to say the least. That was replaced by Food Rocks in the mid 90s, a more edgy version of Kitchen Cabaret to go along with the extreme attitude only 90s kids would understand. Once the turn of the century came around, we have had two versions of the fan favorite of Soarin. We'll go over all those attractions and pick a winner in this tag team match for the ages. So get a snack and grab your erector set as we go back in time to where park tickets cost the same amount as eggs do now. October 1st, 1981. Opening in the Land Pavilion sponsored by Kraft Foods, Kitchen Cabaret was a 13-minute long musical stage show featuring songs sung by the four food groups. It was hosted by semi-terrifying audio animatronic Bonnie Appetit. Early Epcot certainly put the experimental and experimental prototype community of tomorrow. The show opens up with Bonnie singing mealtime blues as she starts preparing a meal she doesn't look too excited to make. The first act introduces the crackpots, which consists of a jar of mayonnaise, some Parmesan cheese, and a spinning jar of mustard. The group plays Chase Those Mealtime Blues Away with an upbeat ragtime number. The next act features Dairy Goods and the stars of the Milky Way. Mr. Dairy Goods is a carton of milk that emerges from the refrigerator as he introduces his female counterparts, Miss Cheese, Miss Yogurt, and Miss Ice Cream, each with a stylized voice. Miss Cheese sang as if she was Mae West, Miss Yogurt as a sultry European, and Miss Ice Cream as Eartha Kitt. Each time they emerged from the fridge, a puff of cold smoke would accompany them. Next we have the Boogie Woogie Bakery Boys sung by the Cereal Sisters. The Cereal Sisters consisted of Mersey Oats, Rennie Rice, and Connie Corn. The song was a parody of the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boys sung by the Andrew Sisters. They would have a bugle player in the form of a piece of toast with puffed out cheeks and sunglasses. The next scene would be Meat Ditties by Ham and Eggs, which the title certainly takes on a different meaning today. Ham and Eggs were a vaudeville-style comedy act with jokes and songs sprinkled in. The scene would end after the pair gets fed up with each other and Ham wanting to split to join another protein group. After the argument, we're treated to Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit by the Calander Combo and Fiesta Group. Bonner returns in a Carmen Miranda outfit sitting atop a crescent moon as broccoli, tomatoes, and bananas chant the title of the song. The finale is Bonnie singing a medley with all the previous acts. The curtain falls showing a Kraft logo. Kitchen Cabaret was a fever dream of an attraction, and it was odd even for its day, but it did have a certain charm to it. It would have over a decade run before Disney decided they needed an upgrade, and on January 3rd of 1994, Kitchen Cabaret would sing its last song. March 26th, 1994. To make this attraction more appealing, Disney used more modern songs as well as some artists to do parodies of their own music. Food Rocks moves out of the kitchen and shifted to a benefit concert for good nutrition. Instead of Bonnie Appetit, we were treated to Fudd Rapper, who was voiced by rapper Tone Loc. Throughout the show, a heavy metal band by the name of The Excess would interrupt the show because they hated the idea of good nutrition. As stated before, some big artists did poke fun at themselves with the parody version of their likenesses and music. Neil Sedaka became Neil Musaka, doing a parody of Breaking Up Is Hard to Do with Vegetables Are Good For You. Little Richard did a variation of Tutti Frutti, the Pointer Sisters sang just a little bit, and Chubby Checker did a rendition of the twist as he transformed himself into a piece of cheese named Chubby Cheddar. Rumor has it that Disney also asked Tina Turner to do a character called Tina Tuna, and told her to sing a song called What's Meat Got to Do with It, but she declined the offer. That's probably for good reason. The parodies didn't end there, as you were treated to the Peach Boys, the Utensils, and my personal favorite, Peter Gabriel. The show was bookended by Queen classic Bohemian Rhapsody. The show lasted for just under 10 years, and although each show had a good message to teach kids about the importance of staying healthy through good nutrition, the reality was you aren't going to make this a must-see attraction with singing produce. So on January 3rd of 2004, 10 years to the day after the closing of Kitchen Kabaret, Food Rocks would meet the same fate. Disney decided to go along with another ride that was massively popular on the opposite coast 3 years prior in hopes of making the Land Pavilion something other than a place to grab a quick snack. May 5th, 2005. Disney brought the wildly popular Soarin' over California to Epcot. Engineer Mark Summer came up with the idea for the attraction playing with his erector set. Guests would be lifted high above a OmniMax screen while showing famous landmarks from California. All while using fans and smells to give patrons a 4D experience. Each ride vehicle has a capacity of 87 people, which is the same for all three theaters. The frame rate for the movie was shot in 48 frames per second, twice the rate of usual films. Soarin' over California would last almost 11 years, and on January 4th of 2016, the ride would temporarily close for an upgrade, and in just under 2 weeks, the ride would re-emerge as Soarin' around the world. Using the same concept as the previous attraction, it would simulate flying through blue skies. Guests would be treated to soaring over famous landmarks such as the Great Wall of China, Port Jackson in Sydney, Australia, and the Taj Mahal. Since its opening, it still remains one of the most popular attractions in all of Epcot. I honestly don't remember much from either Kitchen Cabaret or Food Rocks. So much so that I called Tone Loc's character Fud Rapper instead of Food Rapper. But looking back on it, the musical parodies were really well done. And having actual famous artists poke fun at themselves genuinely got some laughs out of me. I do have some vague memories of the bread playing the saxophone and some of the vegetables, but other than that, neither show left a lasting impact. So that goes without saying that Soarin' is the clear winner, although it's pretty much just a fancy simulator ride that I'm usually not a fan of. Despite my slight fear of heights, I'd be lying if I say I didn't feel like a little kid the first time I rode Soarin' over California. Also, smelling oranges as you float above the orange grove took me back to when I used to ride Horizons. Soarin' wins in a landslide, but Kitchen Cabaret and Food Rocks were really fun to watch back. But that'll do it for this episode. I hope you enjoy this trip back to old Epcot, and maybe you'll join me for the next Disney Versus. So until next time, drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if I earned it, and thank you for watching.